Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion aftereffect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book Hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Kee writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Welcome to a brand new deep dive. Today we're unpacking some truly unique source material you've sent us, excerpts from a paranormal romance and urban fantasy novel called Synner Sainte. It's the opening tale in a much bigger series, the Draoithe Saga.
Yeah, and our mission here, looking at this material, is to help you unpack it all. The world building is really intricate, the character motivations are, well, complex, and the lore is definitely surprising. It's quite a realm you've given us a glimpse into.
Absolutely. So at its heart, this saga, it talks about this concept, a dream to live for. It's a world where the main goal seems to be restoring magical balance. And get this, it often happens, like one couple at a time.
Which is a fascinating mechanic, and the source describes it as a place where myths, legends, and fairy tales walk among the strange and wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's not just about magic itself, but these destined partnerships driving cosmic change.
Right, and this Draoithe Saga, it's not just one story. It's explicitly called a long story of heroic achievement.
Exactly. We're talking about the founding of an immortal kingdom. It's set in the Keen Deal, which seems to be one of the levels within this dream world, and its whole purpose is fighting back against whatever, or whoever, is unbalancing the magic.
And we see this huge story unfold through the eyes of different couples, these fated pairs.
Yeah, very intimate perspectives on this massive unfolding history.
And just a heads up for you, the listener, straight from the source material itself, it comes with warnings, adult themes, fantasy violence, and explicit sexual situations.
Definitely for a mature audience. This world doesn't seem constrained by, typical genre boundaries. It leans into those themes.
Okay, so to really get into the nuts and bolts of this dream world, we almost have to start with someone who's, already dead. Ophelia Sainte, an incredibly powerful Irish hedge witch, lived over 3 centuries.
And remarkably refused immortality, which is a statement in itself. But what's truly wild is how, even after her death, she's apparently pulling strings, orchestrating events for centuries.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much control can one person actually have, especially from beyond?
Well, that's kind of the core question here, isn't it? Her planning isn't just background noise. It's like long game manipulation. Her motives seem tied to this old love for Daniel Lerieux, a fallen devil prince lost to chaos. But it goes way beyond that. Her big plan. For her son, Marquis Sainte, to rule all devils.
To usurp the House of Lerieux, basically.
Pretty much. She even planned, apparently, for Lucifer himself to be shocked by Marcus's position when he eventually returns. It's just, destiny isn't just happening, it's being actively enforced by the dead, no less.
In Marquis Sainte, the son she prepared, he's inherently complicated, half devil, half druid, born with something called chaos magic.
Which sounds volatile. The source says it can corrupt him if he's not, quote, clean. So his whole journey involves trying to balance this immense power. It's central.
And Amelia, with her foresight, she left him very specific instructions after her death.
Oh yeah, super specific. Like, travel to the netherworld, another dream level to rescue Logan Synner. Then, demand a life for a life favor from Asmodeus, the demon lord. Which hints at some deep, pre-existing connection or debt. Plus instructions to force the issue to claim a vixen as his queen.
And the endgame.
Buy an island. Build a castle named Blar Elding, which Amelia also named Midnight Flame, by the way, and establish a whole new immortal kingdom there. The whole 9 yards.
It wasn't just a suggestion box then. She even pointed him towards something specific, right? A prophecy.
Yes, the unlikely king's prophecy, like a roadmap. It apparently foretells a new line of rulers coming from unexpected places. Suggesting this whole thing for Marcus and his family was maybe preordained. The level of detail in her planning is kind of staggering.
And speaking of unexpected paths, Amelia's plan leads directly to this Logan Synner character. His past is, well, it's dark. The source says he was a sommelier, guilty of horrific crimes, prayed for his soul when he died.
Not your typical hero origin story.
Yeah.
And then this strange twist of fate, as the source calls it. He meets Vale Orobai, general of the horse at Talam Sarkra, and Vale transforms him into a midnight rider, which is basically a demon horse.
A demon horse, okay. With rules, I gather.
Crucial rules, specifically, drink not from humans as the bloodlust will take you.
Huh?
But, he accidentally breaks that rule during a pagan raid, which understandably freaks out the monks who'd been sheltering him.
And that's when Marcus shows up, following Amelia's script to the letter, arrives at the monastery as Logan's, quote, third miracle rescue.
Exactly. But what comes out of this rescue is this power dynamic that just flips fantasy tropes on their head.
How so?
Well, Marcus, right?
Yeah.
The Druid King. Powerful dude. But he recognizes Logan as the harem master and actually defers to him on family stuff.
Defers. The king defers.
Yeah. And even weirder, Logan commands Marcus's chaos magic. Think about that. The supposedly subordinate figure commands the king's most dangerous power. It's not the hierarchy you expect at all. It seems based more on fated roles and complementary abilities than just raw power or title. Shared power, not dominance.
Okay, so beyond Marcus and Logan, the women in this saga are clearly not just side characters. Their journeys seem just as crucial. Let's start with Shelby Arnulf. Rough past a sex slave, rescued by Marcus.
Yeah, and her role is really specific. She serves Marcus by taking his darkness, this chaotic energy, and giving him clean energy back. And Amelia naturally had a prophecy for her too, destined to be a princess, to Logan, the Midnight Rider, and bear his sons.
There's also this scene mentioned, a transfer of her loyalty.
A really intense one, yeah. Her fealty oath is magically transferred from Marcus to Logan. It happens through a kind of ritualized punishment. The source makes it sound like a profound magical and physical shift, cementing her place with Logan, her new harem master. It's complex stuff.
Then there's Draoithe Sainte. Her situation starts off pretty bleak. An orphan in a convent, people think she's mute because her voice is cursed. It causes harm.
Until she's abducted by Asmodeus, the demon lord of lust. But not just for kicks. He wants her for her unique talent. She's a musical empath. Her voice can literally alter the way people feel.
Wow. Okay. And Asmodeus has plans for her.
Big plans. He wants to transform her into a shaitan, a type of powerful demon. The idea is to make her strong enough to support a devil's desire. His desire, presumably, or maybe Marcus's. The process is described as painful, but also something that corrects damage.
And Marcus feels a connection to her.
A deep one. He apparently recognizes her as his vixen, his champion. It mirrors Lucifer's own love for someone named Erlia, who had the same rare song magic gift. Lots of echoes in Destiny here.
And the third key woman mentioned is Esmeralda Sainte.
A unicorn. A unicorn, yeah, who was enslaved by the Tainted Wizard Circle.
Huh.
Tainted, apparently, because they used magic for power and enslavement, which goes against that core idea of balance in the dream.
Her escape sounds brutal. Fell off a cliff to avoid going back to slavery.
Right. And washes ashore at Blar Elding, the very place Marcus is meant to build his kingdom. Talk about fate. She's found by Riggs Sainte. Now, Riggs is Marcus's adopted son and partner. It's complicated.
Partner how?
Seems like a deep bond, maybe romantic, maybe something else intertwined with the magic and family structure. The source isn't fully explicit on the exact nature beyond partner and adopted son. Anyway, Riggs sees Esmeralda and immediately wants to champion her.
Not just protect her, but get vengeance.
Exactly. Vengeance against the wizards who abused her. And this ties into a larger conflict involving the whole House of Sainte and a warlock, Arachneid, who's going to help them. Esmeralda then becomes part of the harem, Riggs's princess. It just keeps expanding, this family unit.
You know, this whole thing really makes you look twice at fantasy staples, like devils and demons. The way Asmodeus is portrayed, it's not simple evil.
Not at all. Despite being the demon lord of lust, the source stresses he has this strict honor code. It explicitly says he never wrote about sex with the unwilling children or those who could not consent.
That's quite a specific line for a demon lord of lust.
It is. It sets up a moral boundary that challenges your typical assumptions. It suggests this world operates in a much more complex moral spectrum than just good versus evil, black and white. What does it mean when even demonic figures follow ethical rules?
And the magic system itself sounds incredibly detailed. We've heard chaos magic, midnight flame, druid magic, song magic, errant magic, which sounds like wild, unbound magic.
Seems like it. And there's specific mechanics mentioned too, like for transformations and these things called locking unions, which sound like powerful magical bonds, maybe used to solidify these fated pairings and ensure balance, maybe even ensure they have children. Progeny seems important.
It all seems interconnected.
Very. It feels like a holistic system. These different magics aren't just individual powers. They weave together for the continuation and balance of the whole dream. And that harem structure, again, it's shown evolving way beyond just, mates. It's described as a tight-knit family group, includes adopted members like Riggs.
And it's even like a business.
Yeah. They support the Synner Sainte business, making herbal medicines, elixirs, soaps, creams. It really redefines family in this context. It's magical, emotional, and economic. It's the foundation of this new kingdom.
And the family keeps growing in weird ways, too. Something about a diamond.
Get this. Riggs plants a chocolate diamond seed, which was actually Asmodeus' payment for that life-for-a-life favor Marcus demanded earlier. And from this seed, a nymph is born, a little girl named Illyria. Just another unexpected twist showing how these magical deals and alliances keep reshaping the family.
So zooming out, all these threads, these characters, these strange events, it all seems to point back to Amelia's grand plan, doesn't it?
It certainly looks that way. Her foresight, or maybe just a larger destiny she tapped into, seems to be guiding everyone, knowingly or not. Guiding them towards setting up Blar Elding as this safe haven, this new power base. Every relationship, every magical bond, it all seems to feed into building this kingdom and maybe rebalancing the whole dream.
And the sources mention a really huge event on the larger timeline, Lucifer Lerieux. He awakens in 2016 after being gone for centuries, in a void.
Yeah, a massive time skip in his personal story. And he reunites with Erlia, his last love, the one with the song Magic, like Charlize. This signals a huge turning point. It's just that unlikely King's prophecy is actually happening now.
What does that mean for the dream world itself?
Well, it implies that the balance Amelia was working towards, the kingdom she planned, they're ready to step onto the main stage. Lucifer's return, the rise of the House of Sainte. It suggests the forces pushing back against imbalance are finally strong enough for a real confrontation. Could change everything. It feels like the culmination of centuries of planning.
So wrapping this up, what have we really seen here? It's this incredible story of how one hedge witch's centuries-long vision plays out. Through devils, demon horses, unicorns, musical empaths, all tangled up in prophecy, love, and a very, very unique idea of family.
It really is. A world where these intense emotional and physical bonds are literally magic anchors. They're building kingdoms, fulfilling destinies. This dive into Synner Sainte shows this incredibly rich tapestry. Every choice, every relationship, it all seems part of a bigger design.
Which leaves us with a big question, really.
Yeah, something for you to think about. In a world that feels so heavily guided by fate, where even a dead mother can pull the strings for centuries, how much room is actually left for free will? How do these characters carve out their own destinies when prophecy seems so powerful?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakee.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.